morning friends. In today's class we are going to see about components for the embedded programs. So here we are mainly going to concentrate about the components that are commonly used in the embedded software. So there are three embedded software. One is the state machine, the second one is the circular buffer, and the third one is the queue. Here, the state machines are well suited to the reactive systems such as user interfaces system. So, whenever there is a change in the input, it has to change the state, that is the reactive system. Based on the input, it has to change the state. Then the circular buffers and queues are useful in digital signal processing. Now we will briefly discuss about the state machine. So here the state machines are used in reactive system. So it is actually a event driven machine. So based on the event occurring, it will change the present state. So for state machine, we don't want a clock signal, and it changes the state whenever the input event are received. So the state machine keeps internal state as a variable. So the example of the state machine is a seat belt controller. So what is the main objective of the seat belt controller? If a person sit on a car, he has to wear the seat belt. So within a specified amount of time. If he doesn't wear the seat belt, the timer will on as well as the buzzer will make a sound. So for that purpose, we are developing a state machine. So in the state machine system, we got 3 inputs and 1 output. The inputs are pressure sensor. So the pressure sensor are used to know whether a person sat on the seat or not. The second sensor is the seat belt sensor. So it tells whether the person wears the seat belt or not. The third sensor is the timer. The third input is the timer that goes off when the required time interval has elapsed. So the output is the buffer. We will see the example. So this is the example of the seat belt controller. So first we will start with the ideal case. So ideal case means no person sit on the car seat. So once the person enter into the car and sat down on the seat, so the ideal state, it will go on to the seated state. So what is the input? So seat sensor will on, that is the input. Then output is the timer. So once the person enter into the seat, the timer gets on. So within a time period, he has to wear the seat belt. So once after coming to the seated state, so there is a two possibility. One is he can wear the seat belt within a specified amount of time period, or he cannot wear the seat belt. There is a two option. So once if he wears the seat belt, so from the seated state to it goes on to the belted state. So he wears the seat belt. So what is the input there? So belt is the input. What is the output? There is no output because a buzzer is the output. Here there is no need to ring a buzzer. Okay. The other option. So once within a specified time period, if he doesn't wear a seat belt, what will happen? The state will go to the buzzer state. So the belt is the input. Again the buzzer will on. So coming to the belted state. So what is the two possibility? He can remove the belt, that is the one possibility. He can come out of the car, that is the another possibility. So if we can come out of the car, the state will again go back to the ideal state. So if he removes the belt, again this state is go back to the seated state. So if he removes the belt, so no belt is the input. So again the timer gets on in order to calculate specified amount of time period. Within the time period he has to wear the belt, otherwise the buzzer will ring. So this state it will go, otherwise it will go to the ideal state. So this state is over. Then coming to the buzzer state. So in the buzzer state there is a two possibility. Once after ringing the buzzer, the person can able to wear the seat belt. That is the one possibility. The other possibility is he can come out of the seat. So once he can come out of the seat and the buzzer will off, it can go to the ideal state. So ideal state means there is no person in the seat. So the second possibility is if he wears the belt, the buzzer will get off, it will come to the belted state. So this is the example of the state machine. Here is the code for the seat belt controller, C code. So we got three states. One is the ideal state, next state is seated state, and belted state, and buzzer. So it has to change the state whenever the input received. So we got four states. So first let we see about ideal state. So ideal state means there is no person in the car seat. So if the seat is filled, that is seat equal to 1 means the person sat on the seat. So the state goes to seated state, automatically the timer gets on. So next coming to the seated state. So once the person is seated, it can able to wear the seat belt. So if the belt is on, he has to go to the belted state. Else, if he come out from the seat, the state goes to ideal state. If within a time duration, if he doesn't wear the seat belt, it will go to the buzzer state. So the buzzer will starts ringing. So it become true. Then coming to the belted state. So there is one possibility. Once the belted seat came, so if he removes the belt, he can go back to the seated state. Again the timer gets on. Next case is buzzer state. So there is a two possibility in the buzzer state. One is if he can able to wear the belt. So once he wear the belt means the state goes to belted state, then the buzzer is on again because he doesn't wear the belt. Else if we come out of the seat means the state again go back to the ideal. So in the buzzer state, if he wears the seat belt, he go to the belted state and buzzer on is off. The next embedded system software component is circular buffer. So what is circular buffer? The circular buffer is used in handling data streaming in the digital signal processor. Here the example of the circular buffer. So what the circular buffer will actually do? So here the circular buffer stores the subset of the data stream. So at each point in time, the algorithm needs a subset of data stream that forms a window into a stream. So at time t, we are going to process the data 1 to 4. So here the data will be placed. So at time t plus 1 second, we are going to process 2 to 5. So here we want to neglect the data 1. So instead of deleting it, we are going to overwrite the data 5 in the place of 1. So what the circular buffer will do, actually it will overwrite the data in the position of 1. So here the arrow mark represent the where we are going to place our or where we are going to overwrite the data. So at each time period it will change the position. So the header position will get changed at every time period. So during the time period t plus 2 it will change here. Time period t plus 3 it will change the position here. Here is the C code for the circular buffer. So the Cmax is the index for the circular buffer. So here we are initializing Cmax is 6. That means the circular buffer size is 0 to 5. So here we are initializing the position. So position this POS represent the position of the current sample. So this code representing the computing the new head value with the wraparound. Wraparound means once it reached the position of fifth position of the circular buffer, again the header position should come to the first, that is the wraparound. So the position of the pointer moves from 0 to Cmax 1. So here they are finding out what is the position of the current sample. So if it reached the Cmax minus 1, if it is true, the header position should change to 0. Otherwise, it should increment the position. So after computing the header value, we have to insert new value to the new head. That is, here we are overwriting the value on the circular buffer. So here the code is to initialize the circular buffer, the function to get a value of ith position. Notice that we have used a modulus operation to translate the index for our current set of data into a buffer position. So this figure represents the FAR filter. So our circular buffer we are going to implement on FAR filter. So in this diagram, each Z1 minus box represents a stored value. So this FAR filter uses the current value and 3 previous value in order to perform multiplication with the Cayley efficient and then add together in order to produce the partial products. So here in this circular buffer C code, we are actually initializing the circular buffer in the FAR filter. So this code represents the actual initialization of your circular buffer head value and insertion of the new value. So this code already we have seen in the last slide. Here in this piece of code, here we are updating the state of circular buffer for the FAR filter. So here we are adding the current value with the 3 previous value in order to perform the multiplication, as well as we are adding together the data. So the next component is queue. So queue are also used in signal processing and event processing. Queues are used whenever the data may arrive and depart at somewhat unpredictable times, or when variable amount of data may arrive. A queue is often referred to an elastic buffer. So one way to build a queue is with a linked list. This approach allows the queue to grow an arbitrary size, but in many applications we are unwilling to pay the price of dynamically allocating memory. Another way to design a queue is to use an array to hold all the data. This diagram represents the example of the queue. Here the P1, P2 represent the process of the system. So the P1 produce the elements. So this P1 represent the producer and P2 gets the input data from the P1. So it is called consumer of the system. So the whole system uses 3 queue values, Q1, Q2, Q3. So the Q1 element stores 3 value, Q2 stores single value and Q3 stores 2 values. So the number of elements in the queue depends on the activity that is performed on the process P1 as well as P2. So this is about your queues. So we need to write a C code for the queue that I am giving it as a assignment. Thank you.